The Ravens will match up with the Houston Texans. So here's Kaimi Fairbairn to do the honors. And off we go from M&T Bank Stadium. They'll run it here. This is Buck Allen. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. The gain of a yard gets them back where they started. Now it's 3rd and 10.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
On 3rd down, Jackson. And incomplete here on 3rd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Taken in at the 22. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Now a first carry for Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller, he's at the 40, 20, 10, touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller, 72 yards, and the Texans have taken the early lead. Well called, well blocked, and then he just made a great play. That was an athlete going a long way.
Yeah, how about the suddenness, too, of just getting there and taking off and going? For the defensive guys, plays like that really hurt.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Well, partner, let's look ahead to the NFC Championship game while we got a second. Sunday, 3 Eastern, Rams, Saints. What do you think about that matchup?
I'm loving the matchup, and it's right back at the site where they played in the regular season. And the Saints got out to a 21-point lead, and the Rams reeled them in before the Saints won it by 10 down the stretch. Here's where I think the biggest matchup of the game is. Marcus Peters, corner for the Rams, against Michael Thomas, receiver of the Saints. In the last game, Michael Thomas really got over 200 yards receiving. And the Saints said that was the game plan, to attack Marcus Peters. He vowed it would be different if they met again. Here's his opportunity this Sunday.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They go play action here on 1st down. It's brought in complete. It's John Brown. They'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. John Brown, 53 yards. And the Ravens are an extra point away from tying the football game. Tucker with the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take this one near the 20. Call it the 26-yard line. But the Houston Texans, as they come onto the field, obviously their offseason hit a little earlier than they wanted in January, making it to the playoffs, losing to Indianapolis. It was the first time that two AFC South teams had actually met in the playoffs when they squared off with the Colts.
And think about how the two of them began the year. Houston began 0-3. The Colts began 1-5. Yet they both finished so hot. The Colts down the stretch, 9-1 in their last 10. Houston 8-2 and ended up meeting in the playoffs. And both of them ended up winning on the other team's home field. The Colts did it twice. Houston did it once.
But as you said several times, hard for Houston to be completely disappointed with the ending. They have a lot to build on for next year.
Reset.
On second down, here's Miller. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. Well, Charles, it feels like Lamar Miller's been around the NFL forever, but he's still just going to turn 28 in April. Well, this past year, though, 973 rushing yards, good for 12th in the league.
And you know that he's capable of being a 1,000-yard runner year in and year out, save for some injuries, and maybe utilizing the pass game a little bit more in Houston. 4.6 yards per carry is a healthy number, and that was his highest since 2014 when he was with the Miami Dolphins.
Flushed out right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about that.
And the pressure gets to him again.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? A shotgun snap for Watson. Eluding the pressure, and he's gonna go down again. C.J. Mosley in there again as this offensive line is in tatters. 3 sacks in 3 plays. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Fielded at the 20. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the Ravens, they'll take over. As they take the field here for the next drive, let's talk about the AFC Championship game. How excited are you for Mahomes and Brady, Chiefs and Patriots?
I'm very excited because, remember, this is a rematch game, just like in the NFC, where they played in the regular season, but this time the site is different. Regular season, they were in Foxborough, and Tom Brady and the Patriots won late against Kansas City. But how about this?
Trying to set up the screen, and it's intercepted. It's J.J. Watt, and they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. How about the big boys snagging one? You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
Now it's Miller. There he goes inside the 30, and he'll be taken down at the 26. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down. Getting the sense, Charles, are going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers. Do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10.
Richmond.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10, Watson. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, OTAs, minicamp, and just regular season. They got it done on that one. An outcut, ball was delivered, and picked up the completion.
Now a first down throw, Watson. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. And now he'll tuck it and run. Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd down.
I haven't met a defense coordinator yet that thinks 2nd and 2 is a fun situation to try and defend. Playbook is wide open for an offense, partner.
Nice job holding to 1 after that 8-yard pickup on first down. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2. They only got 2, but that was enough as they'll convert to make it 1st and goal. Here's Watson on the sneak. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there as he kept it himself at 2nd down.
Well, that's tough right there. Asking your quarterback to get you 2 yards on a sneak. As it turns out, he gets them no yards instead.
They'll try to punch it in with Miller. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
So now it's 3rd and goal. This Raven defense trying to keep him out of the end zone. They come out here in the eye. Here's Miller. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Texans are in for 6. On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. For Baltimore, Charles, if you look back to this season, it was pretty interesting. They start 4-5. You think John Harbaugh may not be there. He's on thin ice. Joe Flacco's at quarterback. But then Lamar Jackson comes in, and everything changed. Their whole offense changed.
It certainly did because of the infusion of speed at the quarterback position. And throws the ball a little bit better from the pocket than maybe he got credit for. Has to get better at that. But I think people had to adjust because Joe Flacco as a quarterback, you knew where he would be every time. 3 to 5 steps behind center, you could go get him. With Lamar Jackson, he could be anywhere and make a big play. And how about that defense? #1 in the league in fewest yards allowed yet again.
Jackson. Flush to his right. Drops it underneath for Collins. Solid move, but he's corralled just beyond the 40. It's a gain of 7, and it'll be 3rd down. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They go play action now. Jackson. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on 4th down, and they're going to go for it. Here we go on 4th down with Jackson. And it is incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Texans take over an excellent field position. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Demaryius Thomas, 41 yards. And the Texans will add on to their lead. It's good, and it is now 21-7. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for it. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
Here's a 1st down run with Collins. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
J.J. Watt makes another tackle there, and it's for a minimal gain. And let's face it, if that's all you're going to get running the ball, you're not got much success against him and his team.
Or, yeah, you better find a way to go around J.J. Watt, which isn't easy to do.
It's really not, because you got to try everything. Can you go around him? Can you go by him? Can you influence him to get him out of position so maybe you can wall him off? He's a really sharp, intelligent player, as well as a physical specimen.
Jackson now. Caught left side to Crabtree. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A really nice gain of 25 yards. 1st down, here's the run to Montgomery. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the 1st half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And he's brought down. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. Ty Montgomery taking it in. And the Ravens have cut it to within a score. And they're able to run it in. It started with the battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how we're going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match than a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
And he'll get this one up to the 26. Brandon Carr there to make the stop.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They'll run with Miller. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
3rd and 2, Watson. He finds his target, Fuller. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Give him 30 yards there. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. So 2 minutes to go in a wild first half. We're back to Baltimore after this. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A first down carry now for Miller. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
10th carry now for Lamar Miller. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Play action from Miller. Now Watson. Trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He couldn't get the hook up there that time with Thomas. After the interception, here's Jackson. Steps away to his left. And some room to work. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 30. 23 yards on the tuck and run.
Obviously, a big play was needed. And you can see his eyes light up as he realized there's absolutely no one in front of him. And he takes off and goes a long way. Not only does he pick up a 1st down, but a big gain to boot.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. Well, a reminder to everyone out there, coming up soon, the NFL Club Championship event. Now, there are a handful of those club events that haven't been determined yet, but eventually there will be a representative from each of the 32 NFL teams. It's about $700,000 worth of prize money, and it's all going to take place live on Twitch every day at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, starting January 30th and running through. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Alex Collins, 71 yards. And the Ravens are an extra point away from tying the football game. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes. That's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far and fun to watch. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Buying time. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. And now the Ravens are going to take another timeout, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. From the gun, here's Watson. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. 3rd and long. It's Watson. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line. It's a sack.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. Both these offenses have been in fine form. What will the second half bring us as we are underway in quarter 3? The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on 1st down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
Watson, off play action. That's caught by his tight end, Jordan Akins. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. Watson going to give this one to Miller. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
They'll run it again with Miller. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to third down. They'll try to run for it with Miller. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up fourth down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Back to throw, Watson. Dancing to his left. Now he's going to let it go deep back over. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Demaryius Thomas, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Texans will extend their lead. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And now running right through it. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. And that one results in 35 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Now Montgomery. He'll be stopped short of the 25. The nice move couldn't free him. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Now Jackson. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. With that ball hitting the ground, let's take a spin around the league real quick. Last week we discussed the head coaching vacancies. There were 8 of them. Well, a lot of those places have already found new coaches, Charles. Some old faces in new places. Bruce Arians in Tampa Bay. Adam Gase staying in the AFC East, jumping from Miami to the Jets. And how about some of the new fellas?
Yeah, how about Cliff Kingsbury? He went to USC to be the offensive coordinator after losing his job at Texas Tech. Ends up being the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Freddie Kitchens gets the job in Cleveland, gets the promotion.
And that's caught inside the 30. Watson to Hopkins for a huge hookup. And even 60 yards. Well, it's one thing to grab it with one hand, but when you make a catch of that distance, quite another.
Yes, sir. I mean, that one right there, we keep talking about the high-flying antics that we're seeing from receivers nowadays. Doesn't matter what spot they start in. But when it actually does happen in the heat of battle, brings me right out of my seat.
Come back, come back.
On 1st and 10, Watson. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down.
He's starting to fall into the category of not fair, because when he's on target throwing the ball, he's dangerous. But when you add in his ability to make plays with his feet, almost impossible.
Well, yeah, exactly. They've had trouble stopping him in the secondary. This time they've got the great coverage. Oh, he can run too.
Come back, come back. Tiger, tiger, tiger. Tiger, tiger, tiger.
On 1st down, it's Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Out of the gun, Watson. Flushed out right. And that's incomplete. The safety that time, Tony Jefferson there on the coverage.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Watson. And he fires one, but incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. He's picked off at his own 46. And a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line. Both defenses have had their struggles, but they've been good enough to get them this lead, and another nice play there to help preserve the lead.
It's been a game of punch-counter-punch, hasn't it? All throughout. But this time, the big swing was taken, and it didn't land. Nice play by them on defense.
Here's Watson. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Chris Wormley in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. The turnover put them in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Flag 22! Flag 22!
Watson just beating the play clock. Forced out to his left. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice 1st down.
Back now in Baltimore. It's the Texans in control of the football and leading this game as well as we start the 4th. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. Now it's Watson. It's complete on the bubble screen. That's Fuller. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Only a yard in the completion. It's 2nd and goal.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get it.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Terrell Suggs in there to get him for a loss of 5.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Come back, come back!
Now Watson on 3rd and goal. Eluding the pressure right. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away, turned into a nice play.
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And this one will not work out. It is incomplete. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work.
I remember being taught that cliches have become so for a reason. A lot of times they're true, right? What's that they used to tell us about letting sleeping dogs lie? But this one wasn't sleeping. Maybe it was just slumbering a little bit. But taking that gamble there, you've got the lead. You may have ignited them now if they stopped you.
That's exactly right. If you take the points here, you don't shift momentum necessarily on that play. You probably just did. 15 yards is the pick up there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down. Now Jackson on first down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Crabtree the target on that one, and that'll bring up second down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
2nd and 10. Here's Jackson again. They'll set up the screen to Montgomery. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down. But correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap.
And that's caught inside the 30. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That one goes for 36 yards. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory?
15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. They go play action here on first down. Flush to his right. And it's caught. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Nice gain of 8 that time, but it's 2nd and goal.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
They'll run for it with Montgomery. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal.
Sometimes I get caught in hyperbole, but I think they desperately need to punch this one in. They're running out of time.
Yeah, 2-score game, second half. You're down here. This is the time to put it in the end zone.
Yeah, not going to get much better than this for an opportunity.
So a field goal gets you back within a score, but they're going to go for the bigger chunk here. Kicking team on the sidelines. Offense on for 4th down. Throwing is Jackson. Got a man. It's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Hayden Hurst there to make the grab. And the Ravens draw a bit closer.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively, though, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know.
Doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. And now out comes Houston. After the touchdown we just saw, we have a brand new ball game. And now look at the situation. You got plenty of time on the clock. Defensively, they have 3 timeouts. So do you run the football here or do you throw it?
I think you have that full conversation with your offensive unit, and you tell them, here's the situation. They've got all of their timeouts, so we are not going to play this conservatively. We've got to attack them. We've got to make them use those, gain the ground that we need in order to put this game away. If you think we're just going to run it 3 times and punt it, you got another thing coming.
Yeah, and by the way, also the 2-minute warning in play, so essentially 4 timeouts left.
They have to be aggressive here.
Watson hands to Miller on the draw. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
They keep it with Miller on first down. And an alley to run. Lamar Miller past the 20. 10. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller, 60 yards. And the Texans will add on to their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And the Ravens taking the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. And he'll be hit from behind and taken down. DJ Reader in there to drop him as the clock continues to roll.
Gone!
Throwing now is Jackson. He's going to let it fly. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
Gone!
Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. Being chased out left. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. Now a run. This is Alfred Blue. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal.
Just keep the ball on the ground. Do a little pounding. Chew up some clock. If they can get it in, that might be enough to get them home. And if not, the clock is definitely their friend.
They'll try and run for it with Miller. A spin, and he fights his way into the end zone for a Texans touchdown. Lamar Miller, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Texans will extend their lead. Fairbairn now to add the extra point. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And he'll advance no further, so he can't bring it back for 2, but the extra point attempt is unsuccessful. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Ravens offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on fourth, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say maybe makes that offense feel good when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Jackson. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Tried to go for the big one there on 2nd down. Now they're likely down to their final 2 plays.
And you know they've got to keep going for the big shot, right? So defensively, you play what they call top down. Nothing behind you. Make everything get completed in front.
The Ravens on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. From the gun, it's Jackson. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Try and get it all back with one big shot right there, but even if successful, that doesn't get them all the way back to where they need to be. Can't totally abandon throwing the ball underneath as well.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Jadeveon Clowney in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Miller will get it. He has been busy today. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
Watson now to throw. Escaping and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? A shotgun snap for Watson. Looking for the end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Demaryius Thomas from 21 yards away. And the Texans will add on to their lead. Fairbairn good with the extra point. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. He's going to and his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Good starting field position for the Houston Texans here as they come up 1st and 10.
Down. Black 22. Black 22.
Watson's going to throw it here. Flushed out, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. From Baltimore, so long, everybody.